Chatgtp. If you don't know, I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach teens and adults. I've always tried to be innovative, using different things. Currently, I use Kahoot, I use Quizlet, I make custom questions. The students really love it. You have to continue to evolve. If you don't evolve in teaching, and I'm in the transportation industry, I've been in the transportation industry over 20 plus years. I've been in education over 23 years. Technology, built my own computer, gamer, social media. It's a fun journey. I also build motors. I drag race illegally at the track. So I'm very proud of those things in order to help people grow. And I think, once you find your path as a young person, as a teen, as an adult, once you find your path, you'll feel good. It takes time. You got to have some good mentoring. You got to have parents who are going to help you, parents who will challenge you some. You'll cry sometime. You'll have parents who will support you, encourage you. You have parents who will say, maybe you should go to a trade school. Maybe you should do this. Maybe you should do that. My father was an electrician and he worked for Chrysler. My mom was a nurse. They both were college graduates. So my brother and I, education was stressed in our home. They were from the South. They came up during the Great Migration. So I always had parents and cousins and nieces and nephews who were going to school, going to college, and driving and all those things are important. But now that we have Chatgtp, we have AI, you can do your research. You can type in a degree and, okay, show me some examples of this degree. Show me some things I need to do to get a raise. Show me some things I need to do to get fired. Show me some things I need to do if I want to work a 3-day week, a 4-day week. But getting back to driver's education, we did a couple years ago, one of my classes to renew my cert was about AI, right? How can AI help driver's education? Will we have self-driving cars? Well, they're already here, right? The Teslas are here. The other cars are here. I had a 2014 SRT and it had adaptive cruise control and lane departure, but it was kind of delayed. It wasn't as smart as I would have liked, meaning if traffic stops, sometimes it would work, sometimes it would not. What does this mean to beginning drivers who don't have actual behind the wheel experience? It could be very good because it would help reduce possible accidents, reliability, but also it would open us up to people who are not really learning how to drive. You got to be able to control your vehicle. I think AI can help you. You can adjust your distance. Example, I was driving in the morning and a guy in a Ford F-150 cut me off. It was really close, but I increased my following distance. And if you've seen my content, and hopefully you already have, and you better be subscribing and liking and watching, I think that AI can definitely help us to become safer during difficult times. In the morning, rush hour traffic, it's no joke. You've got to be mentally alert. I think AI, if properly trained and educated, can help us become safer drivers because that's what it's all about. You have to be safe. You want to develop your career. It takes 10 years. Okay, if you're 15, 25, if you're 17, 27, if you're 21, 31, it takes 10 years of learning rush hour in the morning, rush hour in the evening. I'm in an area of the country where there's snow. It gets cold a lot. We have short summers. People riding without helmets on. They are opening themselves up to possible death. Okay. One of my students, his mother, she was a police officer and an EMS worker. She told me stories about people who have had motorcycle accidents. They cracked their skull. Their brains are on the ground. Why would you not wear a helmet if you know the odds of you crashing are very low? But yet you still see people doing this. And even in, I was kind of skipping around, even in when I drag race, their odds could be against me that I could crash and hit the wall if I get out of the groove, right? So you want to have the odds in your favor. You want to get an instructor that is in pushing the boundaries. If this is bringing you value, give it a thumbs up. AI will help make things safer, and I do believe that. We are humans, we run lights. I try to teach my students to not run traffic lights. And if you're going to run a traffic light, eventually you're going to get popped, you're going to get a ticket, or you're going to get hit. So I try to have that, my AI, artificial, this is real intelligence, not to run lights. And then we could look at AI. AI should not put us in dangerous situations. It's adaptive. Our brains are adaptive, they learn. So, but my experience is different than a 16-year-old or a 17-year-old. Hey, how are you? And I think we learn something by listening to our teenagers, our 10-year-olds. You know, what would the next generation cars be like? I had a chance, I can't mention the name of the company, but I had a chance to drive experimental cars, the 2025s, the 2026s, the 2027s. They have incredible features that will help us become safe. For instance, if you're falling asleep at the wheel, the steering wheel will shake. That's going to save lives, right? Just to name one feature. But I think AI will go through all levels of society and help us become safer. And it will take time. But also, there's going to be less privacy. There's already less privacy. Wherever we go, there are cameras, there are Ring doorbells, there are cameras out there. So if someone has an accident or someone is on the phone, that lawyer is going to sue you, subpoena you. We want your phone records. You were on the phone. You rear-ended this person. Your car pushed their car into a truck and they died. Manslaughter. You'll be held responsible. So I think that responsibility piece does come in. Do I think the robots would take over? Not yet, but they slowly are. Our phones track us in history. Our computers track us in history. Just think about it. If we type in driver's ed into a search box, you're going to see companies pop up in your area. You're going to see images from the 30s, 50s, 70s, 2000s. It's 2023. I, as an instructor, have to keep innovating to move forward to help my students. I should be searching, and I do search, current trends that are happening in my industry. If you are running a company and training people, you need to be pushing current trends. You can't do what you did last summer. Oh, I'm going to drive like I did last summer. I think one reason why I'm successful and I really enjoy what I do, I try to be innovative. I try to mix up my groups. Instead of driving the same two kids, I mix them up with everyone in the class. I offer incentives to get kids done sooner, to get adults done sooner. I look for better opportunities to make me a better driver's ed instructor. You can't do the same route for the last 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. You won't learn. And if you have an instructor that is taking you through the same old boring neighborhood, you're not going to learn. I try to take you in very busy neighborhoods, very busy downtown areas, but not overloading you. Then we stop for a moment and we process. What did you go through? What dangers did you see? How will you learn to become a better driver through driving in these difficult areas? Okay, the last time we were driving, there was a bodybuilding competition going on. There were people who had really big shoulders and arms. These people are different than normal people. There are a lot of big trucks, so there are a lot of hazards. So we got in a really one block radius and made a lot of right turns, a lot of left turns. What are the hazards? Downtown areas during Friday, Saturday, people drinking, people having fun. They're going to walk out in front of you. What does that mean to your beginning driver? Because of my job, I can't take kids out during rush hour. But when I do, there's a whole new level of learning. You get a chance to see drivers who are impatient. They don't care. They're going to run you off the road. And I teach my drivers, you maintain the speed limit. We're going to stay in the middle lane or right lane. Because if you get in left, you're going to get ran over because that is the passing lane. And people don't want to play. Beginning drivers are very hesitant. They make poor decisions. So what I need you to do is, how can AI help us? It can help us plot a better course. It can help us reduce the likelihood of getting into an accident. So I like where it's going, and I want to stay on the forefront of learning and teaching my students to become best drivers for now and then for the future. So we can't lay back. And if anyone out here is watching and this is resonating with you, reach out to me. I have a podcast. I'll be putting that up. I am on social media. Reach out to me. I would love to talk to you, interact with you, partner with you, so we can all develop the next generation driver's education, because a lot of this material is from 2015, 2013. This information is from 2013. How's this really going to help us? It won't. What are the likelihood of today? We've got to innovate. And I see that across the industry, that driver's ed companies, I'm speaking from what I know and what I have seen, we're using stuff from 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago. Why? Because it's comfortable. The world is changing. Our drivers are changing. They're looking on social media before they go to driver's ed. They're driving before they get in the class. Some of them have very bad habits: palming the wheel, making the wheel small, laying the seat back. And if you're an instructor and you think they're not driving, you are fooled. Some of their parents are road rating. You, as an instructor, have to understand that and have an open mind. I really try to pride myself on being open-minded. Now, I teach remote classes now, and that fits me where I am in my lifestyle. I miss the interactive in person, but times are changing. People can do remote education, remote driver's ed, remote college classes. So we have to adapt. And then the things I learn in the remote, I apply them when we drive. So this way, my students can get best practice. And I try to challenge them with my kid gloves on to grow, to learn, and to have an open mind. I don't want a robot, even though AI is coming. So there are a lot of things that are challenging me to grow. I love where I am in my career, and the content you see is a culmination of those things and best practice. Bye, guys.